Hey everyone, Mitch once again coming in from not the Commander's Core studio, recording on the Rode mic. Things are a bit crazy, but I'm doing my best to catch up. So, yesterday, Vronos Masked Inquisitor was revealed in one of the precons, and my goodness, this is a really cool Planeswalker. I mean, first up, just the design, the artwork is crazy cool. I absolutely love that, but the ability on this is insane as well, and I think this is going to be a huge card for, well, a certain type of deck that might become pretty obvious here in a little bit, so let's go through it. So Vronos Masked Inquisitor is a Vronos Planeswalker, who knew, that has 5 starting loyalty, costing 3 blue, so 5 mana in total, kind of like a medium to higher cost Planeswalker typically, +1 up to 2 other target Planeswalkers you control phase out at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so that is absolutely huge. Obviously, one of the downsides of Planeswalkers is that they are, subject to not only removal, but also to removal on the battlefield when it comes to creatures attacking them. By phasing out 2 of your other Planeswalkers, you're essentially saying, I'm taking the combat out of the equation. Unless you've got an instant speed way to remove my Planeswalkers, and as long as I have Vronos on the field to keep utilizing that, I can save 2 other ones. So yeah, for a Super Friends deck, ding, 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 yeah, if you're thinking Super Friends, this might be good in it. You got it. This is a very, very good card in a Super Friends deck because, again, if you've got 2 key Planeswalkers that you want to stay on the field, yeah, there you go. This is a great way to protect them. And again, with phasing, basically just treat them and anything attached to them as though they don't exist until your next turn. So essentially, again, they're keeping their loyalty counters on them. Your opponents won't be able to take them down. And also, yeah, you can get up to their ultimates or whatever you need to do with them. The -2 is also very, very good. For each opponent, return to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls to its owner's hand. So basically a -2 that bounces 3 things. That is massive. So again, this has protection for other Planeswalkers, protection from some of your opponent's key non-land permanents, and the ultimate is pretty interesting as well. -7. Target artifact you control becomes a 9/9 construct artifact creature and gains vigilance, indestructible, and this creature can't be blocked. So yeah, making one of your artifacts, any of your artifacts essentially, just like even like a Soul Ring or, even a Wayfarer's Bauble, there you go, into a 9/9 that is vigilant, indestructible, and can't be blocked. Yeah, swing away with it, a great blocker for you as well. That's pretty huge. Not like a game ending, I mean, it can end the game, ultimate, but one that obviously you can work towards pretty quickly, pretty effectively. You start off at 5, just 2+1s, or yeah, utilizing some proliferate effects, of course, can be great with this. Yeah, this card I think is going to make a giant splash in Super Friends decks, Planeswalker tribal decks essentially, because again, of that protection for your Planeswalkers, from the utility that it has to balance things. And sure, if you happen to have some artifacts lying around, even again, just a mana rock, you can turn to a deadly force. So there you go, a very cool design, a very cool new Planeswalker. Let me know in the comments below kind of what the backstory of this one is. I think I heard somewhere that this Planeswalker is already actually canonically dead, so there's that. But yeah, a very, very cool Planeswalker. Maybe we'll see other ones, again, with these kind of master sets, they're just like, they can be within any period of time, right? This is just maybe set in the past where this Planeswalker is, but it's a very cool design, a very cool Planeswalker, and again, one that I think is going to be pretty popular. Now, in this episode, though, let's talk about some cards that work really well with this, and, well, okay, I'll talk about a card that works really well with this, and then I'll talk about some commanders that might want to consider this as well. First up, one of my first thoughts with this is actually Spark Double. This is just an incredible card for this Planeswalker. A 0/0 illusion for 3 and a blue. Enter the battlefield as a copy of creature Planeswalker you control, except with an extra counter on it, essentially. So, yeah. Oh, and it's not legendary at the permanent's legendary. That's obviously key and crucial because you can copy Planeswalkers with this. And so this is just basically clone a Planeswalker. And when you're doing that again, you have this plus the regular Vronos, and now your +1s can essentially target each other because, again, they phase out at the beginning of the next end step. So you can have them each target each other, they each phase out, plus 2 other Planeswalkers that you have, and you would basically have a great way to I'm not going to say permanently protect them, but again, if your opponents don't have any instant speed removal for your Planeswalkers, they're not going to be able to stop the Planeswalkers that you have very easily at all, if at all. So yeah, Spark Double is a really cool card that works well with this one. And yeah, if you're playing in a Super Friends tribal deck, you might already be utilizing this. Just a really cool combination with that. But now we talked about, the kind of card and what, kinds of things that you can consider with this one. Obviously proliferate effects, I mentioned that too. Let's just quickly go through some commanders that came to my mind when it comes to ones that might want to consider this. And the answer is kind of like, hey, basically any Super Friends tribal deck that has blue in it, because yeah, this is a very effective, again, Planeswalker that is just good, you know, I mean, you want to have obviously a lot of Planeswalkers in your Super Friends decks, but obviously one that interacts with Planeswalkers specifically, and again, can protect your key ones, your massive ones. So yeah, Eska got out of the tree, a great one. Maybe we should say the other side, actually, is really what people use that for when it comes to Super Friends, typically. Prismatic Bridge. Wooburg, essentially legendary enchantment. Beginning your upkeep, real cards at the top of your library to reveal a creature or Planeswalker. It goes on the battlefield, the rest go on the bottom of your library. Basically, every single one of your upkeeps, you are getting a free Planeswalker into play, as long as you have a deck that doesn't have any creatures in it. So there you go. Being able to hit this off the top can be fantastic to say, oh, cool, okay, now I have a way to protect my team while ticking up this Vronos Planeswalker. Vronos? Did I get that right? Goodness gracious. Vronos. I knew I'd mess that up. Anyways, let's move on. Sisay Weatherlight Captain, another great one. 2/2 Human Soldier for 3 mana in total in white. +1/+1 for each color you control among other legendary permanents you control. Wooburg, so we're going to say 5 mana commander. Search your library, 5 color commander, there we go. Search your library for a legendary permanent card with converted mana cost less than Sisay's power. Back on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Now, obviously, you've got to get Sisay's power up to 6. That's not going to take very long. I mean, on top of just having other permanents in play that can pump it, just like a Black Blade Reforged will get you there, right? So you can basically go tutor for anything in your deck most times. And of course, you can tutor for Planeswalkers because they are legendary. So yeah, get Vronos in play, protect your other key Planeswalkers that you have. A really good card for this kind of a scenario. Moving on, Attract Separator's Voice. Yeah, kind of the OG Super Friends commander. 4/4 Angel. That costs, well, 4 of the colors, green, white, blue, black. Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink, because it needed all that. And at the beginning of your end step, Proliferate. Yeah, this one, again, works very well with Planeswalkers because, hey, you can proliferate. You can get more counters on anything you want, essentially. And yeah, that includes loyalty counters. And with this, again, keep in mind that you can stack those end step triggers in whatever way you need to. So yeah, your Vronos is going to say, okay, let's phase out those. But you know what? Before they're phasing out, we're actually going to get those counters on them to make sure that they get their extra counters. Then they phase out, they're protected. And then your opponents are probably crying. And then I think this last one, yeah, finally, we've got Tech with All Inquiry Dominus, a Super Friends commander that has been making big splashes because, well, what it does is pretty gross. A 3/5 Phyrexian with flying that costs 4 mana in total. In mono blue, if you would proliferate twice instead. On top of that, you can pay 1 Phyrexian blue, remove 3 counters from among other artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers you control, get an indestructible counter on this. So yeah, very hard for this to be dealt with because it's basically going to be indestructible all the time, very easily. And yeah, proliferating twice, pretty gross. Again, being able to get your Planeswalkers or Ultimates even quicker, making them harder to deal with. And yeah, having a Planeswalker that makes your Planeswalkers even harder to deal with on top of all of this can be really, really good. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this one. It's, again, I really like the design of this one. I think, yeah, for Super Friends decks out there, this is a good inclusion, obviously, because you've got really good Planeswalkers out there that you probably really want to get, ticked up for try their ultimates, right? This can be a great way to say, you got to pretty much get through me first. You got to deal with Vronos first in order to actually get those other ones that Vronos is protecting. It's a really cool effect. And again, that bounce is very effective. And also, yeah, it can be a win condition too by say, okay, yeah, my Wayfarer's Bauble is now a 9/9 vigilant, indestructible, unblockable creature. So good luck with that. A really cool design overall. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this one. But yeah, I think this is going to make a big splash in Super Friends decks out there. And yeah, let me know the lore behind this one. Just a really cool character design. We'll see if we ever see Vronos again in the future. Again, I think canonically, Vronos is already gone. But yeah, again, in these master sets, we can see, cards from the past and that kind of stuff too. So we shall see. Regardless, comment below with your thoughts on this one. Make sure you're staying tuned for more exciting quick takes and spoilers. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.